For indeed, with hardship will be ease. Indeed, with hardship will be ease. Quran 94:5-6. This verse is a reminder from Allah that every hardship, no matter how severe, is always followed by ease. It offers reassurance that no matter how difficult the trials may seem, relief will come. The repetition of the idea of ease after hardship emphasizes the certainty that difficult moments are temporary and will be replaced by comfort. This verse is particularly comforting for someone experiencing emotional pain, as it emphasizes that pain and difficulty are not permanent. These verses were revealed in Mecca and serve as a reminder to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and to the believers that every difficulty faced by a believer is paired with eventual ease and relief, providing both hope and encouragement to persevere through life's challenges. Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector, and upon Allah let the believers rely. Quran 9:51. This verse provides comfort by reminding believers that everything that happens is part of Allah's will, and there is wisdom even in the most challenging experiences. It reassures that nothing happens to us except by the permission and decree of Allah, who is our ultimate protector and guardian. It teaches the concept of surrendering to the divine plan and trusting in Allah's wisdom, helping soothe feelings of helplessness and despair. Surah At-Tawbah was revealed during a time when the Prophet PBUH and his companions faced various difficulties, including battles and societal challenges. This verse was revealed as a way to comfort them and remind them of the importance of trusting in Allah's plan and seeking His help. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. Quran 2:286. This verse is one of the most comforting in the Quran, as it directly addresses the psychological burden of hardship. It assures us that Allah will never place a burden on us that exceeds our capacity to endure. For someone with a broken heart, this verse reminds them that while life's difficulties may feel overwhelming, they have the strength within them to overcome these trials with Allah's help. This verse emphasizes Allah's mercy and understanding of the human condition. It was revealed to the believers during a time of various trials and tests, reminding them that Allah's commandments and tests are always within their capability to handle. It emphasizes the fairness and mercy of Allah, making it a verse of hope and resilience. Did we not expand for you, O Muhammad, your breast? And we removed from you your burden, which had weighed upon your back, and raised high for you your repute. Quran 94:1-3. These verses describe the immense relief and comfort that Allah grants to those who endure hardship. It speaks directly to the Prophet Muhammad PBUH, acknowledging the weight of the challenges he faced and how Allah lightened his burdens. For those with broken hearts, these verses offer the reassurance that Allah has the power to relieve the emotional and spiritual burdens they carry. The metaphor of expanding the breast symbolizes the emotional comfort and the ability to bear difficult situations with patience. These verses were revealed during a time when the Prophet Muhammad PBUH faced immense trials both personally and in his mission. Allah reassures him, and by extension all believers, that relief and comfort will come after every difficulty, and they fall upon their faces weeping, and it increases them in humility. Quran 17:109. This verse describes the reaction of the people to the Quranic revelations, highlighting the emotional depth and humility that they inspire. For a broken heart, this verse can serve as a source of comfort by showing that crying, weeping, and feeling vulnerable is not a weakness, but a form of submission to Allah's will. It can be a form of healing and spiritual growth. It encourages believers to turn to Allah in their moments of sorrow, as such moments bring an increase in humility and a closer connection to Allah. This verse was revealed during the period of Meccan revelations when the Prophet Muhammad PBUH was facing rejection and opposition. The verse speaks to the emotional and spiritual impact of the Quran on those who open their hearts to it, offering solace and a reminder of the transformative power of tears and supplication. These 5 verses are beautiful reminders that emotional pain and hardship are temporary and that Allah's mercy, ease, and protection are ever present. For someone with a broken heart, They offer profound comfort, reinforcing that challenges can lead to growth and that relief and solace are always within reach with Allah's help. The comfort that these verses offer is not just limited to the idea of eventual relief, but also to the strengthening of one's faith and trust in Allah. They remind us that while life may seem difficult and painful, Allah's mercy and support are never far away. Through these verses, believers are urged to lean on Allah during their moments of vulnerability, knowing that He is always there to uplift them, provide them with the strength they need, and grant them peace in their hearts. Each of these verses emphasizes a different aspect of comfort in times of distress, from reassurance about the temporary nature of hardship to encouraging reliance on Allah's will and trusting in His plan. Through these divine messages, those struggling with broken hearts are reminded that they are never alone in their pain. Allah is always watching over them, and His help is guaranteed to come when they remain patient, faithful, and steadfast in their trust. In summary, these Quranic verses serve as a powerful source of solace, hope, and healing for those going through difficult times. They offer spiritual support and encourage believers to stay patient, seek comfort in Allah, and remember that ease always follows hardship. These reminders can guide anyone with a broken heart towards inner peace, helping them heal emotionally and spiritually, while trusting in the mercy and wisdom of Allah. These verses not only provide comfort, but also act as guiding principles for managing emotional and spiritual distress. They encourage the believer to maintain a perspective grounded in faith. In moments of pain and heartache, the believer is reminded that the hardship they are facing is temporary and that Allah's wisdom is far beyond human understanding. The promise of relief after difficulty reinforces patience, resilience, and the ability to cope with adversity. Moreover, the Quran urges individuals to turn towards prayer, supplication, and reflection. The process of seeking solace in Allah's words brings an emotional and spiritual catharsis, allowing one to process pain and let go of feelings of hopelessness. The Quran not only provides the words to soothe a broken heart, but also offers practical guidance on how to rebuild the heart with faith and reliance on Allah. By internalizing the wisdom of these verses, a person with a broken heart can find strength and courage to continue on their journey. They learn that they are not defined by their pain or sorrow, but by their resilience and their faith in Allah. Their heartache can become a stepping stone towards spiritual maturity, greater patience, and a deeper connection with the divine. As they continue to seek solace in Allah's words, they can find peace in knowing that with every hardship comes ease, and with every tear comes the promise of comfort and healing. Ultimately, the Quran offers a roadmap for navigating the complexities of emotional pain. The verses we've explored provide not only reassurance, but also practical wisdom on how to handle brokenness with faith, patience, and trust. They remind the believer that their heartache is not in vain, that every trial has a purpose, and that Allah's mercy will always be there to help them heal and find peace. The deeper one reflects on these Quranic verses, the more one understands that emotional pain, although deeply felt, can be a profound means of spiritual renewal. The pain that a believer feels during moments of brokenness or despair can serve to cleanse their heart and bring them closer to their Creator. These hardships, though painful, are not just tests, but opportunities to purify the soul, strengthen one's connection with Allah, and develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others who are going through similar struggles. Through this perspective, a broken heart becomes an instrument of growth rather than a permanent state of suffering. When we face trials, we are not alone in our pain. Allah is always there, offering His mercy, guidance, and a way forward. As the believer continues to seek solace in Allah's words, they learn to embrace their hardships with greater patience and trust in the divine plan. This allows them to heal spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, gradually overcoming their brokenness through their reliance on Allah's wisdom and grace. Furthermore, the experience of turning to Allah during difficult times fosters a stronger sense of gratitude for His many blessings. Even in the midst of sorrow, the believer learns to reflect on the countless blessings they still have: family, health, the support of loved ones, and the opportunity to grow in faith. This mindset shift allows the broken heart to begin the healing process. It opens the heart to hope, restoring a sense of purpose and balance in life, knowing that despite the pain, there is always a reason to be thankful for the love and mercy of Allah. In addition, the Quran teaches that every person's struggle is unique and that Allah knows exactly what each individual needs. For those suffering emotional pain, whether from heartbreak, loss, or disappointment, these verses remind them that their suffering is acknowledged by the Creator, who is fully aware of their struggles and knows what is best for them. This divine understanding helps to relieve feelings of isolation and loneliness, as the believer recognizes that Allah is intimately aware of their emotional state, their worries, and their tears. These verses from the Quran not only provide comfort, but also offer guidance on how to cope with emotional pain through faith, patience, and perseverance. They remind the believer that every hardship, no matter how overwhelming it may seem in the moment, is part of a larger plan that Allah has for them. With time, trust in Allah's plan, and an unwavering belief in His mercy, even the deepest emotional wounds can be healed. Finally, the healing process involves not only reflecting on these comforting verses, but also implementing them in daily life. As the believer seeks comfort in prayer, recitation of the Quran, and remembrance of Allah, they learn to find peace in His presence. Over time, this continual practice nurtures a sense of tranquility in the heart, gradually lifting the burden of sorrow and replacing it with a quiet confidence in Allah's care and protection. In conclusion, these Quranic verses serve as a beacon of light for those with a broken heart, offering profound comfort and guidance. They remind the believer that their pain is not without purpose and that, through patience, faith, and reliance on Allah, their heart will heal. By reflecting on these verses and keeping them in the heart, the believer finds the strength to move forward, knowing that ease will follow every hardship and that Allah's mercy is always greater than any sorrow. Another comforting aspect of these verses is the reminder that hardships are a form of purification. When faced with adversity, believers are given the opportunity to grow spiritually and become closer to Allah. Through trials, they develop patience, gratitude, and a deeper connection with their Creator. This perspective helps transform moments of despair into opportunities for spiritual growth. Lastly, these verses help to foster a sense of gratitude. By remembering that every trial is paired with ease and that Allah will never burden the soul beyond its capacity, the believer is encouraged to be grateful for Allah's mercy, wisdom, and protection. Gratitude helps heal the heart, turning sorrow into appreciation for Allah's care and provisions, even in difficult times. In essence, the comfort these verses offer to a broken heart is multifaceted. It provides hope, reassurance, encouragement to rely on Allah, and a deeper understanding of the purpose of hardship. The Quran's guidance allows the believer to face emotional pain with faith, knowing that after every trial, there is relief and that Allah's mercy is always greater than any difficulty they may face. The ongoing reflection upon these verses also instills a deep sense of peace in the heart of the believer. In times of emotional distress, it's easy to feel as though the world is overwhelming and that healing may never come. Yet, these Quranic verses remind us that emotional pain and brokenness are not punishments, but part of the ebb and flow of life. Allah, in His infinite mercy, provides the strength to navigate these trials, knowing that with each hardship, there is an eventual resolution that will lead to ease, growth, and renewal. Furthermore, these verses encourage a powerful connection with the divine. When feeling broken, many individuals may turn inward or seek comfort in worldly things. However, the Quran encourages turning to Allah in supplication and trust, finding solace in the Creator who understands every inner turmoil, every tear shed, and every moment of anguish. This act of turning to Allah, seeking His mercy and aid, is an act of healing in itself. It restores a connection with Allah, rejuvenating the soul and lifting the weight of sorrow. A vital aspect of these verses is their reminder that Allah, through His wisdom, knows what is best for His servants. Even when one cannot see the greater purpose behind their suffering, these verses teach the believer that everything happens according to Allah's plan, which is always for the best. This realization brings comfort, as it allows the individual to trust that their hardship is part of a divine plan that ultimately leads to something greater, whether it is spiritual growth, purification, or eventual relief. The Quran also highlights the importance of patience during moments of distress. Patience in the face of hardship is not just the absence of complaints, but an active form of worship that strengthens the bond between the believer and Allah. These verses provide a framework for patience, encouraging the heart to remain steadfast and hopeful, knowing that each test has a purpose and that Allah is with them every step of the way. For someone with a broken heart, the act of patiently waiting for ease to come can be a profound source of comfort and strength. Ultimately, these verses serve as a profound reminder that, even when facing the most difficult circumstances, the believer's heart can find peace and hope in the knowledge that Allah is near. With His mercy, nothing is truly insurmountable, and the pain of the present moment will eventually give way to the ease and comfort promised by Allah. As the believer places their trust in Him, they are reminded that their broken heart can be mended with faith, patience, and reliance on the One who has the power to heal all wounds. By continually reflecting upon these powerful verses, a broken heart can find solace, healing, and renewed hope. The Quran teaches that even in the darkest of times, there is always light, and through Allah's guidance and mercy, the believer will emerge from their trials stronger and closer to Him. In addition, these verses remind us that the journey through hardship is not just about enduring pain, but about transforming that pain into a source of spiritual elevation. Each trial that a believer faces is an opportunity to strengthen their faith and trust in Allah. The Quran teaches that every moment of difficulty can be used as a means to purify the heart, strengthen one's resolve, and increase reliance on Allah's help. When the believer turns to Allah during times of distress, they gain an intimate connection with the Creator, making their relationship with Him more meaningful and profound. This transformation of pain into spiritual growth can be particularly healing for someone with a broken heart. The struggle, rather than being an isolated event, becomes part of a larger spiritual journey. It becomes a reminder that Allah never burdens a soul with more than it can bear, and that with patience and trust in Him, one can emerge from the hardest of times with a heart that is not only healed, but also enriched by the experience. Another comforting aspect of these verses is the notion of divine timing. When we are hurting, we often feel that relief should come immediately or that the pain will never end. Yet, these verses teach the believer to trust in Allah's perfect timing. Allah knows when to grant us ease and how to bring us the relief we need, even if it isn't immediately apparent to us. This concept encourages patience and helps the believer to manage expectations while trusting that Allah will provide what is best for them at the right moment. The reassurance of His timing brings comfort to the broken heart, helping them to relinquish their anxiety and rest in His divine wisdom. Furthermore, the Quran emphasizes that Allah's mercy is vast and encompasses everything. For someone with a broken heart, this understanding can be incredibly healing. There is no heart too broken that Allah's mercy cannot heal, no wound too deep that His compassion cannot soothe. These verses highlight the boundless nature of Allah's love and mercy, showing that He is always ready to forgive, to heal, and to restore. The believer is reminded that, no matter how lost or broken they may feel, they are always within Allah's embrace, and He will never turn them away. The comfort found in these verses is also linked to the belief that hardship is not a sign of abandonment by Allah, but rather an opportunity for the believer to draw closer to Him. The Quran encourages the believer to turn to Allah in both times of ease and times of hardship. In moments of heartache, this turning toward Allah becomes even more meaningful. It serves as a reminder that Allah is ever present and His support is always accessible, no matter how challenging the situation may be.